Hello everybody, how are you? This is my first video, so please bear with me and know that I have no idea what I'm doing. All I know is that I have watched so many floss tubes and so many different videos, and I'm just like, just do it. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but just trying to get the nerve up to make a video. So just to tell you a little bit about myself. Multiple Lanes Creative Brain, that is the name of my channel, and the reason I picked that will become very evident as we go through a little bit. I'm going to try to keep this first video short. I will take a little more preparation and time to create a proper whip parade to show you what I'm working on. But yeah, so like I said, my name is Tanya. I live in PEI, Canada, and it's cold and rainy and yucky out today on this almost the end of April. Like, it's crazy. It's almost over. It's the 30th already. Yeah, I had to look at my calendar because I work from home, so sometimes I forget what day of the week it is. So yeah, I've always been very creative. I have been into all kinds of different medias throughout my life. I spent a lot of time drawing and working with pen and ink and charcoals and watercolors and stuff as an older teenager, and then I got into the busy part of life where you get children and marriage and responsibilities, and that creative part of me kind of faded off quite a bit. I did some plastic canvas, I did some toll painting and just different things like that. But didn't really get into it a lot. And then I started a career working in corrections for 16 years, and I just found that doing that job just kind of snuffed out the creative part of my brain. So I didn't do anything for a really long time. Well, I left that job to start a new career with the government about 5.5 years ago. So since then, I have found that different aspects of who I used to be in the creative side of me is slowly coming back. And thanks to the pandemic, which you really can't say a lot of good things about the pandemic, and my spouse would probably disagree with this, but I had to do something. I am one of those kind of people that my hands and my mind has to be busy, because if they're not, then I just go stir crazy. So I started getting into different things. Like, for first thing is, once the pandemic hit, I couldn't get my nails done anymore. I always got my nails done. So I said, well, I can do that. So over a period of time, I accumulated and learned. I accumulated a lot of supplies and learned how to do everything I ever wanted to do. YouTube is like my best friend. You can learn to do anything on YouTube. So I can now do my own nails. This is really mild. This is a mild set. I'm going to show you a quick little sample of some of the different things I've done with nails. This is like one of my little craft boards, and you can see these are all, I can pretty much do anything at all when it comes to nails. I have discovered that if I don't know how to do it, there's a YouTube video out there that will show me how to do it. So that's one of my creative outlets, and I have enough product to open up my own salon and keep myself floating for a very long time. I'm just gonna do a quick little pan over here. That is, like, it's messy because it's not organized right now, but that's just some of my nail stuff. So that's one of my creative outlets that I got into. I only just do mine and my daughter's nails. Like, I don't do it for money or anything like that. It's just a hobby. And then I started watching YouTube videos, and I discovered crochet. I'm like, oh, I can do that. So I picked up crochet needles and yarn, and I crocheted all the things. Like, I crocheted shawls and pocket shawls and sweaters, and even one of those little Bernie dolls that, you know, that he was in all the memes during the pandemic. I crocheted one of those for my husband. Did all that stuff. But then, you know, you get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. And I have totes full of yarn, totes full, because I can't want to start something and not have what I need to do it. It's kind of one of my personality dysfunctions, I want to call it. I don't want to call it a disorder, but I like to have all the things. my friends tease me and say I have like hyperactive ADHD. My spouse just thinks that I'm a hoarder. Anyway, so I get into doing the crochet and I'm like, okay, now what kind of stuff can I do? And I discovered on YouTube pastels. Like, I'm thinking, oh, this looks really awesome. And I found a fabulous an artist that is showing, and I joined her Patreon, and she's just amazing, Sarah. And so through her, I learned to do different things for like doing pet portraits, and I actually make good money doing this. I sell them. I'll show you one that I've got on the go right now that's not quite finished yet, but this is one of my pet portraits. I started doing the pet portraits about a year ago, and as I got going and I got better, and with practice, my commission charge would go up and up, and we were doing really good with it. And again, I had to get all the things. I have all the paper, all the pastels, all the pan pastels, and I have a dedicated station in one of the other rooms that I do that on. Sorry for bumping the camera, but I haven't been drawing as much lately as I should be, because I do have a large list of commissions, because I was watching YouTube videos, you know, I do this, and I discovered cross stitch, and I did do a little bit years and years and years ago, but seeing the art and the works, and I don't tip my toe in the deep end of the pool, I don't peek inside the rabbit hole, I jump both feet full head on right into the rabbit hole, and that's exactly what happened with cross stitch. I love both stamped cross stitch kits and counted. I started out doing some stamped cross stitch. I have a lot of them, and I only started crocheting. I only started doing the cross stitch about 3-4 months ago, and I've already accumulated probably 20 whips or more. I am a serial starter, not a finisher. I haven't finished anything yet, but a couple of them are getting close. But I just love it. It just does something to my brain. It's the symmetry of the X's and how the pattern all comes together, and the colors, and how this image just kind of develops in front of your eyes. It just captivates me, and I can't not do it. And ever since then, I have stitched every single day. I probably stitch anywhere from 500 to 2,000 stitches in a day. Depending on what project I'm working on, my hands are always going from the time I get up until I go to bed, except for the time when I'm working. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the things that I have on the go, because I just don't have them all in one space. I am doing for the leap year sale, because I saw everyone doing that. I depict the long dog death by cross stitch, so I did start it, and this is like on an 18 count Ada, I believe. I got it from 1-2-3 Stitch. I'm not going to be very good when it comes to the names of the fabrics or the names of the flosses or any of that stuff, because I'm so newbie in it that I just don't know all that stuff. I just go for what I like and what's pretty. So this is just a start. It's only like maybe 3%, if that, but I'm planning on doing it in like a rainbow variation. So it's going to be like dark, medium, light green, dark, and then light, medium, dark, another color, and then dark. It is just going to rotate through them. I think it'll be nice when it's done. Well, I know it will be. And I'm doing a little stitch that I bought this pattern from, and I don't know if it's going to show backwards or forwards because it's backwards to my eyes, but I got this pattern off of Etsy, and because my cousin's getting married this summer, so I'm making a little wedding thing for her. And I've got, where did I put it? Heaven and Earth Designs has had a freebie on their site. I think it's still there. It's the freebie Forest Maiden. So I started her a few weeks ago, and this is my progress on her. I'm doing it on a 28 count even weave, 1/1 full cross, and it's just amazing. I sit down and I start putting threads in it, and you're like, wow, look at this. I do have to wear my magnifier glasses to see it because I do wear glasses, but she's stunning. I decided to start in the middle because I had started this one. This is the third start. First one I did, I was trying to do 10 stitch, but I don't understand it enough, and I got a little confused, and I was just messing up the stitches. So I decided that I'll just do the full cross. So then I started doing the full cross, and I had like a little section done, maybe a couple thousand stitches. Realized I stitched it on the wrong side, the wrong way of the fabric, because the design is wider than it is higher. Well, I started in the top corner on the short end. So I'm like, oh, so I counted out the fabric. I still had enough to do the design. And I said, well, I'm just gonna start in the middle, because then if I run out of space, I just will stop stitching. So this is my start on her. She's maybe about 1.8% done. She's absolutely stunning, and I love it. It's all done with the called for DMC floss and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's one of the ones, and I have another one from Haid that's down on my scroll bars that I didn't bring up. And I have a lot of like stamped kits. Like this one is Joy Sunday, and it's the tiger. And what I love about the stamped kits is that when I'm sitting downstairs in the evening with my spouse and the dogs and we just watching TV, I can do these really easily. And a lot of the time that's where I am in the evenings, is downstairs. So this is one. I love the way it's turning out. It looks really great in the camera. Looks great in the real life too. Another one I'm working on, and part of my zippers, because I know people don't like all that crinkly noise in zippers. And this one's a fairly big one. It's like a rainbow dragon thing. It's pretty big. It's 11 count. The tiger was 14 count. So I've stitched all this dark blue, the 969. I think it must have took me, man, it took me weeks to get all the dark blue stitched, and I'm just slowly making my way through all of the other colors and just kind of picking at it. I can't sit, I know I could never be a monogamous stitcher, because I cannot sit still long enough to actually stitch the same thing for any amount of time. I get a couple days and then I gotta stop. This is the first one, the first kit I ever started, and it's almost done. It's like so close, and it's pretty simple. It's I Love You to the Moon and Back. It's 11 count, and you can see from the back it's almost done. So if I keep going on this one, it could be my first ever finish, and then I can see what it's like to wash the ink off. And let's see, we have, what's another cute one I have that's close by? I just started this one. It's an 18 count stamped cross stitch, and it's got a horse. 18 count stamped is not recommended because the print is so small that you really got to be careful, and you got to reference your picture a lot. So I got that one on the go. Let's see. Oh, that's my, I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. But yeah, it's, I have so many on the go. And the thing is that now I've been watching everybody talking about Mania May and Mirabilia May, and I'm just like, oh, there's that rabbit hole pulling me in again. And meanwhile, every time I get it delivered to the door and it's more cross stitch kits, my spouse is like, Tanya, we're gonna have to have an intervention, because I think you got a problem. I'm like, well, I don't really see it as a problem. I think it is, it's just options. Who doesn't like to have options? So anyways, I have been watching all the stitchers out there, and there's so many I absolutely love. I can't name them and list them. I'm not good with the names. Someday I will get better and I'll be able to. But what's exciting to me is I put an order at 1, 2, 3 Stitch, because I decided I wanted to jump on the bandwagon of Mirabilia May. So this is the one I bought. It is the Sun Goddess. I bought all the materials, all the call for, the beads, everything. All come with it. I did sub out and decide on a different fabric. This one is, the fabric that I decided to use is Belfast Linen Sand in a 32 count. Now this will be my first time ever working with the 32 count, but I just love the modeling. And it's a lot lighter than it appears on the camera. And because she's so bold and she's so beautiful, like I just think that that would just be a nice neutral background for her. and I'm really, really excited and looking forward. There's all the beads and all the flosses in there. I'm really looking forward to starting it. Never did one before. It'll be my very first ever fancy lady. It's probably going to take me many Mays to finish her, but I do have a bit of an obsessive personality, so I figure if I'm loving it and I'm working away on it, it wouldn't take me too long to do it. So that is just a quick little cap of what it is like inside the world of multiple lanes creative brain. Multiple lanes being that I have so many different creative outlets. It seems like the creativity, the more I do it, the more it just oozes out of my pores, and the more things that I want to learn how to do. I have worked with so many different medias, painting, like the big mandalas, you know, the big wooden ones, like 24 and 36 inch stuff. I do that stuff too. Like I love symmetry, I love colors, and I love patterns and designs, and they're very pleasing to my mind. And it really does help to pass the time away, and it certainly did save me a whole lot of grief during the pandemic. Though it doesn't save my spouse from too much grief, because now I think we're gonna have to build onto the house so I can have a storage room for all my stuff. So if any of you floss tubers out there have any really great tips on how to teach one of these kind of creative and chaotic brains how to organize stuff, do tell, because I'm not that good at it. I know where everything is most of the time, maybe. So anyways, it's just a quick short video. I just wanted to do an introduction to who I am and the kind of stuff I do. This channel, you never know what's going to be on it. It's basically going to be what I'm into at the moment. Right now it's cross stitch, it's all cross stitch. But I'd like to maybe, when I'm doing some of my pastel commissions, I'll do like a little recording over my shoulder just to kind of, so you can see how it develops. Like I really love doing the pet portraits like this. I'm so pleased with how this one is turning out. She's absolutely beautiful. I still have to finish down this side. I still have to finish putting the details in through here, and then that'll be off to her mummy for their wall. Yeah, so if you have any questions about any of the things we talked about, let me know. Whatever I'm feeling or itching at the time, that'll be the video. I would think what I'll do is take some pictures of all of my whips, organize my stuff, maybe sit and do a little bit of a floss tube, and just maybe in a couple weeks do a little bit of a whip parade to show you how my progress on projects. I should probably get a little more organized in how I do that as well. Maybe spin a wheel, like I've seen a lot of people do, spin a wheel and pick 4 or 5 projects and only work on those 4 or 5 for like 1 week at a time, just to get more progress on those instead, because I have more and more that I haven't even opened yet. But I need to actually narrow down my vision to a certain piece or two to get some finishes. But anyways, thank you so much for anyone who has stuck around, and if you're interested to see what kind of multiple lane directions I will go next, feel free to hit the subscribe button and like this video so maybe other people can possibly join me on my crazy journey. If you've got one of those ADHD brain goes a mile, 10,000 miles a minute, and you can't sit still and looking for ways to keep your mind occupied, you might have come to the right place. Anyways, have a wonderful day, and always, always, always be kind. The world is tough enough, so be kind to one another and keep your mind and your hands busy. Bye.